Hello, friends. I'm sure most of you are feeling what we are feeling at the start of this week, which is a heavy heart. And we thought it would be important to just talk about it and get it out there and talk about a few things that we've processed and observed and how we personally, as a brand, are moving towards change, but even being a brand that's owned by two white women, to talk about some of this, what's going on in our beautiful city of Madison, which was where we're founded and located, what's happening across the country, and ultimately, number one, what is happening and has been happening for 400 years that our brothers and sisters in the Black community have had to endure. And this is a conversation that we need to have, and I don't expect to have this conversation perfectly, so please don't expect that from us. But to have the conversation at all is important. We do not want to be silent on issues of blatant evil. So I'm coming to you today to start talking candidly about this topic and to talk about the topic of racial reconciliation, which I think most of us so desperately want and don't know how to get there and don't know what to do and feel very overwhelmed right now. The number one thing I want to address is that this is not about us as the white community. It is about how we respond to a degree, but it is not about us. And something that Abby and I have had to walk through, even as a brand, there is something out there called the white savior complex, okay? It exists, and it's something that often we do trying to swoop in and be the hero, and I really would love to be clear on this topic, and as we're approaching this conversation, that we are not the hero. We are not the hero. What our brothers and sisters in the Black community have had to endure, that is now being documented, so is being made more aware. They're the heroes. And so our job right now is to support them. Our job right now is to lift them up. We cannot swoop in and think that we can, figure it out. They don't need us for that. What they need is for us to acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the wrong, and stand with them, because they are very, very capable of handling this in a beautiful way. And so that's our job. So that's something we've had to confront even as a brand, coming in and looking at women who are put in vulnerable at-risk situations or exploitation, that we are not the heroes here. We are providing a vehicle and a platform to say, this is wrong. This isn't right. Just as we did with the garment industry, we say, we're not here we're just here to say that this has always been wrong. Systemically wrong. Not okay, not appropriate behavior. It's the same thing that we're facing very close to home for many of us. And it should hurt and it should ache. And so we're standing here and we're saying, how can we help? I could never understand fully. You could never understand fully if you are white. We just can't. So we are here to say, how can we stand with you? What can we do? So there's that. And I think something that was really powerful and impactful, and it's okay that you don't know what to do and you feel overwhelmed. I think a lot of my friends are feeling the same way. I've been having conversations with family and friends who care about racial reconciliation, and a lot of us just don't know. And that's okay. So what we're hearing a lot, right, is educate yourself, be informed about the history and what our Black community has had to endure. The Black community has had to endure horrific circumstances. And to learn about that and acknowledge that and not make them responsible for teaching us that is really good. The other thing, so having these conversations with friends, I have a lovely, wonderful friend who said something so impactful. So I'm going to use it because it really resonated with me. She said, this is not a sprint. So most of us are getting made aware of the situation, and we're becoming awakened and alive to what has actually been happening for generations upon generations. But she said, this is not a sprint. So we're all going to get fired up and we're going to try to, because we want to do what's right. And that's a beautiful thing. But she said, it's a marathon. This is the start of a marathon. If we want change, we want to pursue actual change, we need to look at it as we're in this for the long haul. We're not going to get fired up because it's popular and it's cool and we care about social justice. We are in this to learn, to build relationships, to build bridges, to restore, and come with all the love and humility that we possibly can. So responding in that way of understanding that this is a marathon and not a sprint, we felt we wanted to do something to start the process, because we know most of our community, all of our community, from what I can tell, cares about what can I do? What do I have in my hands that I can do to help? And so we are going to be donating 20% of all orders that come in for the next week to Campaign Zero. And so I'm going to tell you what that is. Campaign Zero is an online platform and organization that utilizes research-based policy solutions to end police brutality in America. And the reason we chose this is because of all that we've been seeing over the past few weeks, going right to the root issue and being able to financially support in some way, we felt was an important first step as we're learning the different ways we can be a part of this conversation and be a part of the solution ultimately. But you'll be seeing us probably have more conversations this week. We're going to be posting. We can't be silent about these issues. So we're going to be posting. Again, we're not going to do it perfectly. And we're open to dialogue and conversation because we want to come at this with humility. So we want to hear from you. How are you doing? How are you processing? What are your thoughts and feelings? And all of the things are okay and safe here. So thank you for being part of this community that is rooted and founded in what is just and what is right, and moving together as a community in that direction. So sending so much love to you today, and we'll continue the conversation.